Okay, well, Leanne mentioned that perhaps Liverpool could be one of the teams to challenge Spurs for the top four. This week, they return to Premier League action against Aston Villa. Let's hear from Jurgen Klopp. But first, Unai Emery.
Close to them, and we have to get the opportunity to beat them. If we will get our best performance, I think we can do it, and above all because we are playing in our stadium with our supporters in Villa Park. I think it's going to be very special match.
It's only been a few hours since we last spoke, but looking ahead to Aston Villa, Unai Emery in particular, are they a bit of an unknown quantity in some respects, given that we saw them have those 3 competitive games and then he's had this break to work with the players?
Yes, but I think what you can expect is Unai stands for a specific kind of football and was really successful and did an incredible job at Villarreal, not only there but now recently there. And what you saw in the first few games they played and the games we could see in this pre-season now looks quite similar because it's a good way to play and it's his way and it's how he wants to organize the team. And so, yes, of course, we don't know exactly what to expect, but you never know exactly what you expect. And but we know, at least we have an idea how they will try to cause us problems. And so that's what we prepare for. We have our analyze obviously started already as well, and so now we have 2 days' time to create a plan to cause them problems.
You won't have seen what Jamie Carragher said because you were out on the pitch when he was talking about your prospects. But he was talking about the fact that any new investors would have to come in and spend 250 million pounds in the summer to get you closer to the top again. I mean, is that the sort of money that it would take? Do you feel?
Ooh, it's Christmas time, huh? I don't know about the amount of money and stuff like this, what you need exactly, but I'm not against investment, to be honest, that's clear, but yeah, we will see what the future brings. Nobody knows that in a moment, and but I'm still convinced it will be good. The future will be bright for us, but in a moment we have to sort the situation, so nothing to do with any kind of future investments or stuff, or investors or whatever. We have to sort the presence, and that's what we are working on.
What about January? I mean, is there a prospect of anyone coming in? There's obviously been a lot of talk about Jude Bellingham specifically.
In January?
Yeah, well that's the question really. I mean, is that a deal that can only be done in the summer?
Oh, I am the wrong person. Are you from the buying side or the selling side? Or I'm the wrong person to ask that. I don't know. You have to ask other people about that. But January, in our situation, I think is what we always say in this moment because it's true. We are from the sports side. We are always prepared. That's how it is. It's always clear what kind of ideas we have, what kind of or how the necessity is from our point of view, and that's clear, but all the rest doesn't lie 100% in our hands. That's how it is, and so we have to, and we always work with what we've got, so and that will not change. And I think you can imagine the situation we are in, that yeah, we are probably looking, if something happens, we will see.
Thank you. Jurgen, obviously there were a few injuries around last night's game. Bobby, you said, had an issue with training. James Milner came off. Alex wasn't quite there. So how are we looking now, 24 hours on, with Nottingham?
Yeah, Millie didn't get better since then. We'll be out for a couple of games. Same for Bobby, but with Bobby it's like this. He's already on the better side of it, even it's only a few days ago, but it's not a major thing. So we will look day by day with him. And Ox is fine. Ox was ill, and like Trent, some of the stuff as well. So that's why we have to be careful at the moment. Absolutely, like everybody, I think it's going around, and so let's make planning really difficult for the next game because everything is we're 100% clear what we want to do against City, and then you have to change in the last second. Pretty much, that's not cool, but it's a situation, and that might happen against Aston Villa as well. So we need just to be flexible, stay flexible. Apart from that, Verge trained now, obviously completely normal, so we'll be there. Trent hopefully will be better, and was not part of the full session, but of parts. Let's see how that develops until tomorrow. Anybody else? No, that's it.
Well, how do you feel approaching this restart of the Premier League? Are you excited about
Yeah.
it? Is there a sense of trepidation with the competition? That
Oh, I don't even know the word. What was it?
Is there a sense of anxiety, if you like?
No.
Increased competition around it? How do you
Ooh, no. No, that's not that. So we are really excited about it. We are really happy to go again, really, like this. It's all the players who are back from the World Cup now look really on it. So that's very important. I think some of them could really gain confidence, even though it probably was not that low before, but a good World Cup, like for Hendo, for example, is for sure helpful. And so, no, we are really looking forward to what's coming up. But we know it's intense, and there are never guarantees out there, and we know that all the others, I can imagine at Arsenal, everybody's buzzing to go again. City, you saw last night, they have expectations and ambitions, and so that's how it is. And there are much more teams. We obviously left a gap between us and much more exciting spots in the table, but we consider ourselves for the moment in punching distance, and that means we have to chase, and that's what we will do. And I saw good signs last night. And I was not happy with everything. Didn't like our counter press, to be honest. Or pretty much it was not existing, which I don't like. With the lineup, which was really only a few hours before the game clear how we have to play or will play, we had the time to adapt. It was clear we need that, but it was a bit. City could have scored before they scored, so, and that's what I didn't like. And after that, we found a way in the game. That's positive. So it's a mix. The game last night, and it's against a super team. Not to forget, if we play our best football, they cause us problems in moments. That's clear. So yes, but, and that was the question, and that's the case. We are really looking forward to the games coming up.
Does that give you cause for optimism then, with what lies ahead, given what you saw?
Yeah. There's a reason for optimism, definitely. But optimism, the problem is I'm a very optimistic person, so that doesn't mean a lot. And we know that Aston Villa will be a massive test. That's how it is. This is a tough place to go anyway, but now especially, I would say, and that's why we have to prepare for. But for them, it's not that easy as well. So what do they know about us, and what do they know about themselves? Who have these friendlies, pre-season friendlies behind closed doors. They had one, I think, against Everton, if I'm right. Nobody knows anything about that. That's really rare in the world of football. You cannot get a lineup. You cannot get nothing. Or maybe you have it. Anybody has a lineup from that game? Look. Still possible, and so there are kind of a few uncertainties, but that's no problem. That's what we deal with all the time, and so 2 more days to prepare, and then let's go.
Thank you very much.
Well, welcome.
Hi, Jurgen. So it's obviously difficult to think about form because nobody's been playing for so long. Their last game was a win at Brighton, which was a great result. And Danny Ings, who I know you know very well and have a lot of time for, scored twice in that game, and it's difficult, I suppose, to leave a club like Liverpool at times and go on from strength to strength, but he seems to be able to do that now. He'll be a real threat.
Yeah. The thing is, he didn't make it in the end. Let me say it like this: here was just because of injuries, and of course, and then a player in his age needs to and wants to play regularly, and we couldn't offer that in that moment. So, and that was the only reason. There was no other reason. It was never, the quality was never in doubt, not for a second. And he showed it at Southampton, showing you now at Aston Villa, so that's clear. But they have other good strikers on top of that. I think at least 1 or 2 of the games they played now was with Watkins and Bailly up front. It's massive speed. They found their 4-4-2, so there's maybe only space for 2 strikers, but he could play the wing as well. So we will see how they will come. But Ings, when he's on the pitch, he's always a threat. He's a real goal getter. So like in the pure sense, and that makes him really dangerous for each opponent.
I know we've spoken a little bit about it so far today, but are you expecting, or do you think the break for the World Cup will have an effect on the rest of the season? We're not quite at halfway.
Could, but we don't know yet. What can I say? It would be just guessing. I have no idea. We will see that. We hope that it has some positive effect, especially even when our last spell before the break was absolutely okay. I don't think about these kind of things, but I think we won 8 out of 10 games, if I'm right. I read it somewhere, so that was good. If we would have done that in the 10 games before, we would be in a different situation. And so, no, it's a lot to come, and we don't think about the break anymore, really. So it's now for us, it's now the start for something new, building on the things we did so far, knowing we can do better, expecting from ourselves we do better. Find a way to win a football game and start with that on Boxing Day.
And you've got obviously a lot of games to play now over Christmas and New Year. But with the break, I know it's the same for all teams, but is that harder because you've had that break to get going again with all those games?
I don't know. We will see. I wouldn't see a reason for it, or cannot see a reason for it, but we will see. We will see. So we have players, they have rhythm, some. So I just want to say Hendo had rhythm in that period, training, games. Ali had probably rhythm. So all the others have more or less. Ibu maybe you can say he had rhythm. All the others had a break. They were at the World Cup. Fabinho, Trent, they played minutes there, but it was training more or less. Now a week off starting. I cannot see a massive effect. It's for the players who play a lot. Virtual obviously has rhythm. For the players who played a lot during the World Cup, the whole year will be incredibly intense, because it's not that they have now 3 or 4 games more in a fully packed schedule anyway, and that's really tough. But for the moment, and we have to see how we deal with that, and we will be really careful with all these, all the information we get. But for the moment, everybody should be fine.
Carl?
Jurgen,
Hi.
you spoke earlier about players who came back from the World Cup with more confidence, having done well personally. But what about those who came back with maybe a more disappointing experience?
So long ago, when I don't know who that could be. So Welsh played a good World Cup. They didn't go that far, for example. And I don't think Fabinho or Trent lost any kind of confidence just because they didn't play now that many minutes. So it's not about that. Who could? No, Darwin. No sign for that. All these kind of things. It's not for some. It's a boost, and for others, it's a normal situation. So we footballers are used to deal with setbacks or with missing expectations or targets. That's happens every year pretty much. So it doesn't. We don't carry that with us too long. No, I'm not worried about that.
Were you expecting Canate back?
His first session will be the 27th. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously during the World Cup it emerged that Julian Ward will be leaving his position at the end of the season. I just wondered how big a surprise that came to you, and what kind of impact that might have on what the club be planning to do in the meantime.
It was a surprise when Julian told me, but we work completely normal together until that day when he will leave. So Julian's 100% committed, and everything is fine. We never had a problem, will not have a problem, so it's all fine. And when he told him, I think it was after Southampton game. I was surprised in that moment, but that's his decision, and that's okay. It will have no impact for this period, not at all.
Well, we've had a taste of Liverpool already last night, losing to Manchester City in the League Cup in a really entertaining match. But it's been a while since we've talked to Aston Villa. And in fact, before the break, Unai Emery was appointed and he won his first 2 matches in charge of Aston Villa. So what do you think, Leanne, for this one? Can they get a result against Liverpool?
I think so. I mean, the first game in charge, he beat Manchester United and he'd only been in the job for a couple of days, but it seemed like he was able to find a way. I think Bailey's done well since Emery's come in. And I said it before, you know, I like Emery. I think when he was here before, people were quite disrespectful to him. You know, you don't win the Europa Super Cup and the Champions League many times at Sevilla, Villarreal, you know, through being average.
Yeah.
And I think he just needs to be given an opportunity, and he's a top manager. And I think it will fit based upon the fact of his style. You know, he seems to get the best out of teams that are not at the top, you know, but they exceed expectations. And I think, you know, I'm a big fan of Danny Ings. I think he's a top player if he can stay fit and healthy. But I like Emery, and I think I'm probably one of the only people that was saying give the guy a chance, because when he took over at Arsenal, it's almost like people were just talking about him in not so nice ways.
Yes.
And now he's had a bit of time in this World Cup break to work with the majority of the Aston Villa squad. Of course, Emi Martinez comes back as a World Cup winner. They've got a World Cup winner in the Aston Villa squad, which is amazing. He won't be available for this game. We imagine that he'll probably be rested for this one.
And that's the only thing that worries me. No Emi Martinez, potentially no Robin Olsen either. So who keeps goal for Aston Villa? That is a massive, massive miss, because when you're up against a side like Liverpool, who for all their defensive problems know how to score goals, you do need somebody in goal who is going to, again, organise the defence, who is going to be a shouter, a leader at the back. They don't have that. I agree with Leanne. I think as far as Emery is concerned, he's an outstanding manager, and he was not given the respect he deserved. I'll be honest, I hate all of this good evening stuff. This is a multilingual guy who commands and deserves and demands respect, and he should get it. And I think, thankfully, that's starting to ebb away a little bit, and people are treating him with the respect he deserves. And he's a great organiser. If you look at the Villarreal sides that he did so well in the Champions League and the Europa League with, they are actually a team of cast-offs from other Premier League clubs that he has moulded together to make a really effective outfit. What he said to the Villa players is, you're all playing for your futures. And they've all responded to that by winning those first two games. And I think they'll go into this game with the belief that they can take advantage of a Liverpool side who defensively are not that great. If you saw them against City last night, without Virgil van Dijk, they are bereft of leadership. Without Alisson at the back, they don't have that organisation and they don't have that presence and authority in goal. So I think this, again, I was saying about it could be a freak set of results on Boxing Day. This could be one with goals in it.
Yeah, well, if Olsen isn't available for Aston Villa, we imagine it will probably be Jed Steer. So how much will the Liverpool forwards be rubbing their hands if they don't have either of their first two choice goalkeepers? And in Liverpool's forward line, albeit we saw Darwin Núñez miss a fair few chances in that game against Manchester City last night, they do have a fresh Mo Salah in that squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. I think from a forwards perspective, if I was playing, you'd certainly be gaining confidence from the fact that Martinez is in. I don't think he'll be back probably for about a year, judging by his celebrations, and fair play to him. But, you know, I think all jokes aside, this Aston Villa team, some of the players need to start stepping up more with regards to, I think Ollie Watkins, he's done well since Emery's come in, but I want him to be hitting double digits in the season. Buendia, you know, those Mings will probably be one of the players that is relieved that Steven Gerrard's not there anymore, because, you know, some managers just don't like certain players and some players don't get along with certain managers. That needed to change. Tyrone Mings, I think, will have that, you know, that freshness now that Emery's there and given a second chance. So, you know, I think players need to step up. But as a forwards perspective, I mean, Mo Salah, Firmino, Darwin Núñez, to be fair to him, one thing I will say, you want him to get in those positions.
Yes.
And when he starts putting them away, he's going to be frightening, because we don't see players going in on goal anymore like Núñez does. You know how he breaks that back line, going in on breakaways and 1v1s? You don't see it. He just needs to make better decisions. And when he does, I can imagine he's going to score a lot of goals.
How close is he to that, though?
I think in the World Cup for Uruguay, I was quite disappointing. I think he was going up against Pepe in one of the games, who's 39 years old, and Pepe got the better of him. I expected Darwin Núñez to, you know, outsmart him, outpace him. He's strong. Darwin Núñez has all the attributes to be a top centre forward. You know, you look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I'm not comparing the two, but the physique, you know, the commandingness. I just think Darwin Núñez needs to find himself a little bit more. But I think the positive is he's getting in those positions, isn't he? Because he's not hiding.
When you miss chances, how much does it play on your mind afterwards?
It definitely plays on your mind. It does, for confidence. But
and do you start to listen to what people are saying on the outside? Or whose voice do you listen to when you're a striker?
Your manager, I think, you know, but it's difficult in this day and age with social media and those outside attributes. But I do think that the one thing I will say is if I was him, I'd be happy. I think Klopp would be happy he's getting in those positions. But You know, he's not going to have loads of chances where if he keeps missing, he's going to keep playing him. But I think there's a player in there. I really do. And I think people should give him more of an opportunity and a chance. Don't write him off too soon, because coming over to the league, you know, not everybody adapts to the league in the way that Haaland has.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't work like that always.
Yeah, we saw the table a moment ago. Liverpool are 6th coming into the return of all of these games, but they're 7 points off the top 4. There's absolutely no room for error now. They have to hit the ground running, Darren.
Yeah, they do, because the second half of the season is when City tend to come alive. You look at the times when they've won the league, they steamroller the opposition once winter starts to come in. And I sound very Game of Thrones now, don't I? But you know what I'm trying to say. And I think as far as Arsenal are concerned as well, although they don't have Jesus, they do have other players who can score goals. Spurs have a manager who knows how to win, despite it not looking particularly pretty. Newcastle have got a very good, strong defensive record and a fabulous platform for their expressive players to go and do something. If they can get another striker, they're in good shape as well. So there isn't, as you say, no margin for error. There is no margin for error for Liverpool. I think what they've got to do is get Virgil van Dijk back and Alisson. If they do that, they've got a good chance.
OK, it's exciting, isn't it?
It is.
2 games down. We'll continue previewing all the rest of the matches to come